First of all,
can you
fuck
stop?
whoever that was.
Yeah.
I don't like that person.
Yeah.
What? That was the intro to my album.
Track 1, I am recording. Track 2, I am producing. Track 3.
What is this, fucking Sesame Street?
Oh my god.
I might actually use that. That's not
Oh my god.
No, I won't stop the way that I keep to deliver. I'ma make these haters reconsider.
BBC.
I kick back,
Oh,
stay
yeah.
high up for life.
Oh, yeah.
And now I won't stop.
I won't stop, I can't stop, even if I try. I won't stop, I can't stop, even if I try. I won't stop, I can't stop, even if I try. Even if I try, even if I try. I won't stop, I can't stop anytime soon.
Hello. What's cracking, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Y'all Boys Talkin, a podcast about nonsensical improvement, where each week we talk about not only bettering ourselves, but how we can help you better yourself by hearing us better ourselves. It's like math. My name is Jocelyn Jean-Baptiste.
Frank Hernandez.
I'm Maximo Santana.
And Steve Della Valentina.
And the four of us, over the past decade or in a couple centuries, have been developing this concept called STTT, straight to the top. Maximo Santana, can you please explain to me what the blood clot that is?
Oh yeah. Straight to the top is all about getting to the center of your Tootsie Pop of success. And that chocolatey center is your dreams, your goals, your aspirations.
Ooh.
And we want you to get straight there.
Max, how many licks does it take to get to the center of the top?
You know, everyone's got their own journey, and some people got bigger tongues than others, so it's hard to tell.
Oh,
That's bad selling for Tootsie Pops if they all like varying sizes. It's just like, I don't know, man. Some of them could be like 13 feet large.
Yeah, you know, we all have our own journeys, is what I'm trying to get at. So it's all different for everybody.
Oh, God. What excited you this week, guys?
So this week, I actually got really fascinated by this music video made by this group called the New Negroes, which is a show on Comedy Central and BET, starring Open Mike Eagle and Baron Vaughn. One's a rapper, one's a comedian, and they work together to make this hybrid of a show. And one particular music video that they came out with was called Police Myself, which we'll put the link in the description. But it's probably one of the most woke, wonderful music videos I've seen in a long time, where it's about a guy going around, a black man going around through his day, and then just kind of like all the thoughts that kind of go through his mind, like how he needs to act in public to kind of just go about the day. And I just felt it so freaking hard.
Is that a new genre of music called wokecore?
I mean, hip hop is wokecore.
Oh.
Yeah. The original woke core.
yeah.
So like,
takes.
this is why I had you guys watch the music video before and see if you had any thoughts. But if you guys don't have any thoughts,
I mean, it was cool.
just, all right.
Great thoughts.
You've never had to police yourself. You never.
I mean, like,
worried
I get
about
it. You know,
thoughts
funny
of
enough, JR, a friend of the pod and a friend of my friends.
Also, actual friends.
Just
Yeah,
a friend,
and,
yeah.
and you know, roommate to half of the
Yeah.
people here.
he is a six something foot black man, and he expressed to me that like he has to be very mindful of how he moves about certain spaces, and I had never thought about that. I'm like, it's one thing to be a black man moving around the world, but a 6-something black man, whew, that's a whole literally another perspective that I didn't even know.
So me and Jared will go out and have a good time in the city, and you know, he's a jolly giant. He's just a fun-loving guy too. And sometimes we'll be in the club, and then Jared will try his dance move out, and sometimes a bouncer will have to come up to him and be like, "Sir, you're too big for that," and just kind
Oh
of
my God.
just be like, "Listen, you can't move around like that. It makes people feel uncomfortable and stuff." And like,
Yo,
you know,
that's
I guess it's the
bigism.
bouncer's job to, you know, make everyone feel safe, but yeah, it's like literally there are some movements he is restricted from making due to the safety of the people around, or the perceived safety of the people around him.
That's
Tough.
bigism right there.
Bigism.
Like at the end of the music video, you see like a father telling his son, like, "Hey, you know, sometimes you're going to be perceived differently because of like what you're doing. So you need to start like being aware of that." And like I'm a light skinned brother, so I get away with a lot more than I feel like my best friend Carlin Desir does, who is a very tall man with locks, you know, and
Also an MMA fighter.
And also MMA fighter. Yeah. So the fact that like he gets profiled all the time, but even myself going into I went to this clothing store, Crossroads, that's in San Francisco, which is dope. A lot of really cool clothing there. And I went there and I look a little bummy. I was just wearing a hoodie. I just wasn't really feeling like too great that day like that. And I was followed around basically the entire time I was there.
Oh God!
Because I was there in a hoodie. Just like, again, I did not have an intent to buy anything. I was just there hanging out. And boy, I loitered. And then, you know, I'm assuming to an outside perspective, it seems like I'm going to do some shit. And all that. And I only became aware of it because I saw the same motherfucker following me. Like, I was just like, nah, that's in my head. And then, like, nope. This person has been told to keep an eye on me because I am a perceived threat because of the shit I'm wearing and the color of my skin.
Well, on that note, for our first segment, STTT of the week. Cue sound.
STTT of the week.
Oh, wait, I love the sound of that. STTT of the week is where we talk about a person, place, story, or thing that has inspired us. We love to give flowers around here. And this week, we are giving a bold, bodacious bouquet of flowers to Eureka Ensemble's Women Chorus. Tell us about that, Max.
The Eureka Ensemble's women's chorus is a vocal ensemble comprised of women who are currently experiencing homelessness. And on top of getting to sing, the Eureka Ensemble provides members with a paid stipend, meals at rehearsal, and team building opportunities, which personally I think is amazing. And honestly, it serves as a unique, like, therapeutic approach to healing, dignity, empowerment, gives people a direct link to performing arts and an opportunity for singers to experience creativity, growth on an individual level and with their community as well. And you get to foster awesome relationships with other creatives and singers and even professional musicians. So that's pretty dope. And also all their performances raise funds in support of causes that chorus members select. And a lot of the music they do is composed by female composers.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's a great, awesome little thing they're putting together.
It's amazing that, the sense of community, I feel, is probably the biggest thing. Because reading the book that I'm reading about addiction, In the Realm of Hungry Ghosts by Gabor Mate, a lot of these people who are homeless and are dealing with addictions, they lose their sense of community. They feel very isolated. So the fact that there's a big communal effort to not only bring all these people together, but to do something together in the arts, to perform and to show that I'm human.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I saw a TED Talk entitled, like, Everything You Know About Addiction is Wrong. And typically when I see titles like that, I'm like, come on, not everything. But they do go into the idea that a lot of addictions stem from people looking for community and not being able to find it anyplace else. So they'll develop community with a substance or a behavior like gambling or betting. So people need these communities in their lives, or else they're going to have a big old gaping hole and they're going to find something to fill it with.
Yeah, it's a social problem.
Mm-hmm. Damn. Well, I mean, art has always been a wonderful fuel to inspire and motivate people to do amazing things.
Absolutely.
For real, like, that's some, like, really awesome work. I hope something like that goes global. Shout out to y'all for inspiring people and putting them in the right mindset to partake in the climbing to the top. On that note, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Here's a word from our sponsors. Don't go anywhere. BRB.
It was a cold fall night. The air was brisk, and the glow of the moon kept my sights dim. The kids were asleep, but I had a sense that I needed to beat feet because there was a stench that was cruising for a bruising. The whiff of something just caressed my face, but I wanted it to cut the gas. I checked the bathroom. No. Garage. No. It had to be the kitchen. A word from the bird told me this would happen. It was the garbage bin. filled to the rim with trash and all of his good-for-nothing wet rag-smelling friends. I clenched my fist. I grabbed the bag by his mug and gave him a hello, see you later to the dumpster. If you got a stench in your crib, toss out your garbage, or you'll sleep with the fishes, eh?
And we are back. Welcome back to our meat and potatoes segment. The cream of the crop. The cheesiest is the laziest. I don't know what that means. But our challenge checkup. Cue sound.
Do we have a sound?
Challenge checkup!
We have a sound, and you just heard it, Steve.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yep, you heard it.
You heard it. That
Yep,
was the sound.
that was
and
it.
I love it so much.
Yep, we love it too.
All right, so our challenge checkup is basically this. Oh, so long ago, we gave each other New Year's resolutions or New Year's challenges, as we like to say in these streets. It was the brainchild of Maximo Santana, and that is the purpose of this podcast. You will be hearing us fail, succeed, triumph, and disintegrate in our quest to the top with our goals. However, Frank,
To raise the stakes a little bit, our 10-year high school reunion is coming up on June 29th, and we have to complete all 12 challenges, 3 each, by that time. If we do not, we have to give a detailed explanation to our fellow alumni about how we failed ourselves and each other. But if we succeed, we will be showing up to this reunion in a Lambo.
blasting Lamb Talk.
Lamb talk.
However, listen, listeners, you've been with us for about 13 weeks.
We got to be real with you.
We got to be honest with
It's
you.
a moment of realness.
A moment of honesty and trueness. We looked at the prices to rent a Lambo for one day.
Just
and I'm
a
going to tell
day.
you right now, that shit is no joke.
Yeah, probably something we should have done at the beginning of this podcast, but after 13 weeks, we looked it up, and it's a bit up there.
Like we could do it, but we probably wouldn't be any better off doing it.
Like,
yeah,
it's
it kind
crazy.
of goes against the STTT mentality to spend that much money on a car for a single day.
For a single moment at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, the price by itself, just the car itself, is already just like, oof. But then, we didn't even factor in, like, what the insurance or the down payment would
Security
be.
deposit. Yeah.
And, oh, no.
And then, the guys are driving are flying in from the West Coast. There's just a lot going on. So, listeners, we have decided we're still hashing out the details.
Yeah, we're looking into our accountant.
Yes.
Yeah. But we crunched some numbers, and it is unlikely that it'll be a Lamborghini brand vehicle.
However, we are strongly considering the Tesla.
That it's affordable, it's flashy,
And it's less environmentally impactful.
it's very ST. It's a much STTT vehicle.
Yeah,
it's much more STT.
It's got self-driving capabilities.
Oh,
it's way more spacious.
Yeah.
We don't
And
have to
it's-
lap up.
we still have the ability to flex.
Yeah.
It's covered our bases.
We might not be blasting Lamb Talk. We'll get back to you guys.
Yeah, we still have
On-
to decide a new song that
We're
would
gonna
fit
find a
Tesla.
song that flexes, either green energy or Teslas. We'll see.
Jaden Smith uses Teslas in all his rap videos. So any Jaden Smith song would
Okay,
actually.
And
but
we have
we need
mentioned him
the
before.
lyrics. So
Okay.
maybe I might make a song called Test Talk. We'll hash
Put
it
in
out.
that.
Anyway,
Put
in
that.
thank you for sticking with us, listeners. We will let you know what we pull up in, but that's what we're gonna do. All right. On that note, Max, why don't you start us off with your challenges?
Thank you. I got 3 challenges. The first is to write the first 60 pages of my great American novel. Second, I have to get 3 people on the Best Lives model. And third, I have to see a therapist. So let's talk. Let's just hit it up in that order. Number 1, about my novel. I had a blast on Tuesday. I went with my roommate to a cafe, and he's got like a master's degree in creative writing or something like that. Great guy. We sat in the cafe for a little bit. He's writing a short story, and I'm getting to work on my novel. And we sat there for 3 hours, and at the end, we just kind of like exchanged documents. And he took a look at mine, I took a look at his, and we traded notes the good old-fashioned way. And getting feedback on my writing is super, super integral, super important to writing a book that everyone can understand and appreciate. So he told me a lot about like the tone and the voice I'm using for my main character, and that feedback was super, super vital. And there's a lot of like technical parts in there. Some of it's about like hacking. And I'm trying to make sure that it's not so technical that people don't understand it, even if you don't know a ton about computers. So I'm trying to get people that don't have a huge background, technical background, to read it as well, to see if they can make sense of all that stuff and it still is exciting and interesting.
Oh, so my brother layman can just read your book and it'll be
Yeah. I'm looking for laymen, laywomen to just go down and just see if they can figure that book out.
Yeah, the fact that you went outside to write, I think, is fantastic. The fact that you went outside to write with another person who's also a writer, is so STTT, like all in a row. So like that's pretty rad, and will definitely help you progress through this. So
I think so too. As for Best Lives, I didn't do anything super directly concrete, but I did set up 2 appointments for next week. One is a follow-up from the one I had last week, and another one is getting a second person started. So guess what, guys? My goal was to get 3 people started. That's what Steve challenged me to do. I already got 1 person started. I'm getting the next person started next week. So I'm damn near 2/3 done with that goal. FYI. Just saying. And I might be, I think I'm cruising to that one. Doing well. Last but not least, I have to see a therapist. And guys, last week I called a lot of people and left some messages.
Oh my God.
This week I got some calls back.
Okay.
And I'm excited to say that on Tuesday, I have an appointment to see a therapist.
Yo, can we add an explosion sound effect right here?
Explosions.
Give an explosion, please.
Car alarms. Just lightning strikes.
A hip-hop horn, too.
Yes.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
it's happening.
The Y'all Boys Talking world premiere event.
Max's mental health.
Yo, screw Endgame, screw Game of Thrones, screw the Battle of Winterfell. This is it.
This is what's
the
happening.
most highly anticipated event of 2019.
Right. The most anticipated crossover event of the millennium.
Max and therapy at the same place at the same time.
Yes. It's going down on Tuesday. So I'm going to be there Tuesday morning. We're going to have our first session. And this guy definitely like meets the criteria I was looking for in a therapist. So hopefully, you know, we have a good conversation and I want to keep going. But I'm also very ready to, you know, have a few first meetings, right, with a few different therapists as well. If I don't feel like I'm going to get a ton from the first person I meet. So I'm ready. I'm definitely excited about the first meeting. But at the same time, I know it's just like the first chapter in the story of me finding a therapist that I can speak with freely and talk to on a regular basis. So definitely very excited about getting that started. I think it's gonna be really, really interesting, and I hope I can get something out of it. So I'll let you guys know how that went next week, and if I want to keep seeing that person, or perhaps find some greener water someplace else.
Listeners, you heard it here first. Maximo Santana next week, episode 14. He'll be talking about his first
event.
Therapy session.
All right, that's great. Oh, I also would like to say, Max, one of our avid listeners of the podcast recently picked up a therapist that actually met your criteria. He said he agreed with you on what type he wants.
Oh,
And he went ahead and got it.
nice.
So, that is awesome. So
Did it also take them 7 to 13 weeks to do that?
It took him less than 48 hours.
What kind of demonry, witchcraft did he employ to do that?
I mean, but, you know, he doesn't have the same, you know, nickname as you. 13-week Max.
Yeah, so
the ever-evolving one.
Yeah.
All right, great. Well, sounds like you know what you need to do next week to keep on moving, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, I made appointments for Best Lives next week. That's going to happen. The appointment I have with my therapist is also next week. That's going to happen. And I'm just going to keep on chugging along when it comes to writing the book next week as well. And probably try to get another session in with my roommate to get some more feedback as well.
Yeah, because you basically got like a month or two, bro.
Yeah, I actually thought it was 2 months, and then I recently learned it was actually a month to do this. So, hey.
And the heat goes on.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the lyric, but you get it. All right, Frank, what you got for us?
Alrighty, I actually have 3 challenges.
Okay.
From Josh to maintain a consistent meditation regimen. From Steve to try the No S diet, no snacks, no sweets, no seconds, for 4 weeks. And from Max to speak up more at work concerning social issues. Now, this week, 83 weeks of meditation. 83 days of meditation.
I was about to say,
That's very
whoa.
different.
Damn, that's like wow.
That's like a new level of meditation. If
Like,
every time you
holy
go,
shit.
it's a week. Every time you go.
83 days of meditation is what I would be saying if I didn't miss a day last Monday.
Oh, okay.
So
Can we zoom in on that, Frank? What happened on Monday?
So what had happened was I go about my day, my normal day. So it was just one of those days where I woke up late. I'm like, all right, I'll do it tonight.
Yeah.
I went to work, came back home, started working on some projects that I've been like putting off for a bit. And then I'm like, yeah, I'll do it in a bit. I'll do it in a bit. And then when I'm like, all right, so I finished up the assignment and it's 12:05 a.m. and the day is over.
Damn.
And there's a couple ways I could have taken this.
Yeah.
I could have been like 76 days and then right back to 0. For the first time in ages on my analog tracker, I put a red X on Monday.
Yeah.
But you know what? Life's not about inspirational quotes.
Can I quote you on
Life's
that?
about how many times
is that a
you get
quote?
back up.
Yeah, okay.
If I quote you on that, I think
Then
that's a
a
paradox.
quote. Yeah.
That's a quote. That's a quote. This is officially
I'm
a
gonna
quote.
tattoo that on my arm, Frank.
Wow. Life is not about inspirational quotes,
Inspirational
Frank
quotes.
Hernandez. Okay.
It's not.
You're right.
Because I woke up the next day and I just did it again, and then I'm currently 6 days in. 6 days in with my new streak, and
Nice.
I'm going to surpass the next one. My previous longest streak was 46 days, which I blew away on this one. So I did an extra 30 days on this streak
Okay.
to do 76. So now it's time to surpass it again.
Nice.
Like it didn't
And
take
you
it
know,
hard.
you already know what it is.
I know what it is, and the fact that I've been getting the work done, I'll talk about that more in my Rosebud Thorn, but a lot of positive steps are happening. As far as the No S diet, I got 6 out of 7 maxes. On Wednesday, I went in on my Uber Eats again. It's never a good thing to jump back into the Uber Eats, but I also learned a good lesson there.
What was that?
Sorry.
There is a cat attacking Steve right now, listeners.
With cuddles.
Yeah, so I learned a good lesson that it's not the end of the world. What the meditation thing is not the end of the world if I had this Uber Eats there.
Okay.
Just because I didn't do all 7 days, because that's what this podcast has helped me do, because I listened back to, before we post this, I listened back to all these podcasts, and the way I talk about like these failures, I'm like, it's not the end of the world. There's still more weeks. I'm still here. And keep it pushing. So even if there was like a one slip up, as long as I get the rest of the days done, then what the heck am I worried about?
Yeah, spending time dwelling on that is not going to actually do anything for you.
I don't lose weight dwelling.
You don't?
Dwelling does not help you lose weight.
Okay.
Facts. Frank, if I may, you've blown your goal out of the water. So like out of all of your challenges, like that's the least one. You already won.
I mean, I don't think it's a win or lose thing. Well, actually, no. This podcast is a win or lose thing, and we need to get that fancy car for the reunion.
So you need account for your successes, good sir. we got a Tesla to get into.
Darn Skippy. But it's good, and I'm getting back into yoga. And every time that I stop doing yoga, I keep every time I get back into yoga, I'm like, yo, why the fuck am I not doing yoga all the time? It's amazing. It does everything. And finally, speak of more work concerning social issues. Work was good, but I wanted to talk a little bit about Kate Smith, who recently had a controversy about her version of God Bless America being played at the Yankees games and the Philadelphia Flyers games. When it was discovered, some of her older songs, including "That's Why Darkies Are Born" and "Pickaninny Heaven," were revealed to not fall in line with what the Yankees or the Philadelphia Flyers want to put out there. So they removed her version of "God Bless America." Now, when I heard about these songs, "That's Why Darkies Are Born" and "Pickaninny Heaven," I was wondering, what the heck does pickaninny mean?
Oh, God.
So I looked it up, you guys. And pickaninny is characterized as a juvenile, always of color, and always resistant, if not immune, to pain.
That's convenient in one specific way.
So,
Frank, I also have follow-up questions. Why are darkies born?
So that song actually goes in about like someone had to pick the cotton, someone had to work the fields, and that's why darkies are born.
All right.
Someone needed to do this work.
Yeah.
And, all of us white people can't do it.
No.
So
when
thank
was
goodness.
this song written?
Oh, so these are this is not like 2007. This is like all like in the 1920s where all these songs that came out. But yeah, those two songs were quite interesting. And "Pickaninny Heaven," like particularly like the description of pickaninny. I said this word way too many times. But a juvenile, always of color, and resistant if not immune to pain. The song is about like little black kids eating watermelons. Like literally, that's what the song's about.
Oh my
This
God!
is their heaven.
God. All right. Okay. Thanks.
But the word resistance and immune to pain. So like, how many like acts of violence are done to people of color because the prevailing idea that's embedded is that like, oh, they don't feel pain, which makes people of color seem subhuman, as if we don't feel pain, as if we don't. So I just thought about that. I'm just like, shit, man. So even the song that we were talking about at the beginning of the podcast, like this prevailing thought, continuing.
Well, I'm glad they're not playing her version of "God Bless America" anymore.
Likewise.
Sounds like a great idea to pull that song.
Word. And yeah, that's all my stuff this week.
Okay. All right. Well, it's so far we sound like we're trekking along, but we got a handle on it.
So I mean, hey, don't speak so soon.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. Please don't.
Well, so far, 50% of y'all boys talking right now at this moment.
House of y'all.
Yeah.
House of y'all.
Half the house of y'all votes for progress.
All right, Steve, what you got for us? Actually, can we cut to a pre-recording of you, Steve, instead of you talking now?
So rude.
I mean, we could, but I mean, I would have to pre-record it, and I'm recording this right now. So
Okay.
I'm not sure. If
Can we then cut to my pre-recording of "Sweet Deal, Steve"?
Sweet deal, Steve.
Yeah, and actually, I think I might be editing this episode, so this is going to be really confusing for me.
All right, what you got for us, Steve?
So this week, I had 3 challenges. I had to wait less, journal every day, and
5 song AP.
make music. And I'll start with waiting, in the sense that I think I didn't wait, but I also don't think I waited. So make that if you will. I will make that.
How many
Just
maxes?
threw some Play-Doh at us and just like, make what
I
you
feel like
will.
you either got 4 or 0 maxes, and I don't know which one it is.
Yes.
God damn it.
No, I legitimately don't think I had anything to wait on.
Okay.
I've been looking into, immediate actionable items, and yeah, I've been kind of trucking along at them.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's been kind of straightforward. Journaling.
Mm-hmm.
The crux of my challenges. It's really weird. I was doing really well in Utah. I had moments where I could get in the zone and just focus on my writing. And this week, and I didn't realize it until just now, that I didn't journal at all.
Oh, nice.
Which, yeah,
Oh, no.
it's a twofold problem.
Mhm.
One is that I would, every time I'd open up the journal to like write down my tasks and whatever, I'd kind of look back at the previous entries. I'm like, oh, I journaled right there. Like I just seeing the block of text was, I guess, satisfactory. But then I also realized I only opened up the journal about 2 times this week. So I didn't even really use it for like the task logging and that kind of stuff. And all this realization comes from in the time that I usually do this during the day is going to and leaving work on the train. And what I've been doing this week instead is, ironically, listening to podcasts.
Oh, no.
The irony.
Research for this one? Like what?
No, just I realized I had a podcast app, Pocket Cast, a wonderful app.
Shout out to Pocket Casts.
Yeah. And I had maybe like 30 podcasts there, and I realized I wasn't listening to any of them, so I kind of slimmed it down and realized I should listen to podcasts more. And I think I took that too seriously because it siphoned all my journaling time. Not to mention the other time of the day that I would do it would be at the night, right before going to sleep. And yeah, I'd be really tired because I'd be waking up more earlier. So I've kind of wedged it out unknowingly, and I've also found a better way of acknowledging my journaling more by just keeping it open. I left it open last night, and just to keep an eye on things that I want to do, and it's honestly way more interactive this way instead of having to close it, open it, close it, whatever. So I think that's what I'm going to do next week is keep it wide open.
Steve, why if I may, why don't you set an alarm? Not an alarm, but a
reminder. Yeah, I'm going to do that as well, as I've had to take medication for the skin problem I was having, and I was also forgetting to do that. So yesterday I set some reminders, and you know what? You're right. I'm gonna do some journal reminders as well.
I'll do you one even better. Why don't you get a tattoo of write in my journal?
I'll start. Better yet, I'll tattoo my journal.
You mean you'll journal?
I don't think that's okay. All right, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can do that.
Just one last thing on your journal thing. I do like the idea of you leaving the journal open, because you'll have that. You always have that blank page.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just like I gotta fill it. So that's a nice little kind of thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last challenge, making music. I actually made some headway towards that. Yesterday I started the Timbaland masterclass, which is actually really engaging.
Yay!
You know, it's
Does
well
he
put
go
together.
every once in a while?
Oh no, yeah. So the second lesson, he was pretty much he did a beat not start to finish, but like he did all the layering. So his process is he uses his voice to kind of hum out a melody, and then he does like some beatboxing, and he just adds like instrument, quote unquote, one after the other, and then it sounds like a legit beat. And then he starts filling in the actual instruments and playing around with it. And yeah, then he starts layering in vocals, and he doesn't actually write or like sing the lyrics, but he kind of he sounded it sounded like any other mumble rap trap kind of song that he was making, but it wasn't, again, because he wasn't actually trying.
He was like making a reference.
Yeah, he was getting a groove and feel to it, and it actually sounded pretty good.
Nice.
And I really like the process, because I don't know how to sing or write music, but I can hum. And yeah, he made it seem very streamlined, and you don't have to worry about getting the exact drum kits and melodies and stuff. You just have to see how it feels.
Catch a vibe.
And you just build on top of it. And yeah, I downloaded a trial of Ableton. I'm going to mess around with it for the next month, and then I'm going to do the trial from June through June 29th, and then that'll be the time where I can actually make music. So
big eats.
yeah, I got a lot to do, but I don't know, I'm really excited, and this is only, I got like 13 more lessons to go. So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, a
promising.
couple maxes for education right there.
Hey,
Yeah.
all the maxes are for education.
That's true. Max is education.
Yeah, you can't learn without Max.
All right, Josh, what you got? All right. This is Y'all Boys Talking, a podcast where we keep each other accountable and on track for our goals, right? We do. And my goals are to keep a consistent workout schedule, to make some music, and to keep a close eye on my finances and develop my fiscal responsibilities. And I'll tell you, this week, some were successful, some weren't.
Okay.
All right.
Let's dig
And
in.
that's
Talk about it.
You guys want me to talk? Okay.
Yeah, we think you should keep
I
going.
would like that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, my working out, I'm still keeping the groove. I did not go 4 times, but you know what? I'm fine with not going 4 times for now.
Why?
Acceptance.
Because I feel like I'm like 2 weeks of doing it 3 times. I'm like, okay, so like next week I'll step it up again. Cause like I don't know, like I don't know, I couldn't bring myself to go 4 times.
What
I
happened?
feel
on
like you're the
fourth
only
time?
person that can bring yourself to go 4 times, actually.
I mean, like, I got no excuse.
Did annoying Andy show up? Who you spoke about last
did.
week?
It wasn't one of those. Well, no, it was actually. Yeah, it was. There was one day I was like, Josh, you should go, and I didn't go. I didn't go. Andy had cookies, but I went 3 times, and you know, I felt good about that. But you know, next week I'll shoot again for 4.
Have you gone 4 times at all in the duration of the
Not yet.
podcast?
I'm not there yet.
Okay.
why don't you just stick with 3?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm fine with 3, dog. Okay, I will say this. I'm fine with what I... Okay. No, you know what? No, fuck that. I made some progress. So, I have decided, or I think what I want to do is do 3 times of gymming and 1 time of an alternative wellness health-related activity.
Okay.
Therefore,
Acupuncture.
my physical activities regarding my wellness will be accounted for at least 4 times a week, but just not hardcore gym.
Okay.
And you live in
And-
Miami, so the weather's like pretty good most of the time. For you to
Right.
do some
I think I'm
outdoor.
going to start taking Tai Chi.
Okay. Yeah,
So-
that counts.
Yeah, exactly. I know I legit know a Tai Chi master.
Wow.
So I hit him up today, and he's just like, yeah, we'll coordinate a schedule. He's out of town, but he told me it's very affordable, and you know, I'm gonna jump into doing that. So you know, I think
Sounds
investing in that would take me further.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
So
What about your next challenge?
who me? My next challenge was to make music. I've been banjoing it up this week.
Okay.
So my banjo-ness has been really popping. Been pretty consistent. I actually was late to something this week because I was practicing the banjo.
Ooh-wee.
Ooh.
That's a great reason to be late.
Yeah. I'm really excited because I learned this new strum. It's like, it's pretty funky, you know. It's called the Pete Seeger strum. Seeger. Yeah, whatever, Seeger, whatever. And it goes like, bang, 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 bang,
I heard that one.
bang, bang. Yeah, and then you can like be like, bang, 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 like it get real lit. And I was like, oh shit. So I was super legit to practice that because over a rap beat, that's gonna be so tight. So I've learned a couple of different techniques with the banjo, and honestly, at this rate, it looks like this whole fucking mixtape is gonna be a banjo mixtape, and I'm
Great.
absolutely fine with that. So, but now that I've locked in enough of these rolls and strums and techniques, I do need to like solidify what exactly is gonna be on what, and then I need to start layering tracks for the actual mixtape. So
Ooh.
that's awesome. And that's it. So that was y'all boys
What
talking.
about your finances, sir?
Yeah, you just want to
Yeah.
go over finances, bro.
Oh,
Conveniently forgot.
Trying to run?
It was bad this week, man.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Oh,
what
no.
happened?
Yeah.
Let's talk
It
about
was-
it. Let's
I
break
like
it
that.
down.
It was bad.
Okay.
Oh, no.
I I did my whole balance transfer thing, and I was like, all right, so a significant amount of my debt is going to be paid off with a lower interest rate.
That sounds like a good thing.
Yeah. So I did that, and that kind of just made me go, well, I ain't really got to make no credit card payments right now, so whatever. And I ordered Uber Eats. I went on like, a date. Like I was buying food left and right. I went to the movies. I went to see Avengers in a bougie ass theater. I was stunting this week.
Balling out of control.
I was stunting this week, but I caught myself, And I was like, all right, look, you're spending all this money, but bitch, throw money at your savings account. So I did that, and I like did a couple other things. I didn't really balance it out, but I did not treat myself well, and I've been doing so good. But just like Frank said, you know, keep on going.
Hey man,
Wait.
Frank said that.
Josh, did your balance transfer cover all of your debt?
It didn't.
So
I know. I that was just the reason why I got really comfortable. There's no excuse. I was very irresponsible this week. And that plan that we formulated, Steve, I did not do. So just gonna pick it up next week, man.
I feel like if this podcast is about one thing, it's about, you know, helping each other out, and also it's very anti-Uber Eats.
For real.
There's one thing that's consistent.
Is that it's
I didn't
never
need
a good idea to spend
$25 on a
any
vegan
money.
burger, dog. Like I really didn't have to, and it was down the street. Like I really didn't.
That's the thing about Uber Eats. It's the most unnecessary thing. We both have cars. The two people that are dealing with Uber Eats the most are the people who literally have vehicles to be able to go to these places and order them. So.
But I will say this. I went down a rabbit hole, and I realized that what's more urgent for me right now is that I need to budget my time. Because a lot of what I ended up purchasing this week was, I mean, aside from it being irresponsible, was like, oh, I didn't have time to cook because I went to sleep late, because I did this, because I did that. Like, there was a lot of unnecessary times this week where I went to sleep really late for no fucking reason. And honestly, like, I really kind of got annoyed at myself, and I was like, I need to, like, budget my time. And especially there's, like, a lot of projects and stuff that I want to do within the next 2 months, and I'm freaking out. Well, I'm not freaking out, but I see myself freaking out. And I'm like, I need to budget my time, and I think that's going to help my budget.
Time budgeting is extremely real.
And time
really
is money.
helpful.
So
Yeah.
Do you have a template for that, Steve?
I did at one point. I tried it in college where I pretty much blocked out every 15 minutes of the day because it's just like a significant chunk of time. And it was kind of helpful. I think the most helpful thing you could do and most straightforward way of budgeting your time is just putting everything on your calendar. And I mean, as much as you can, like the times you want to sleep, your commute times, your work schedule, every single thing you could do on, if you use Google Calendars, a physical or like a agenda, like an analog type one, do all that as much as possible. And then you'll see, there's not that much time in the day. I should probably not be on Reddit at 12 a.m.
Oh God!
Before going to sleep.
The devil.
Yeah, journaling in general also a good idea. If you're doing any sort of task management, you can write that down and make sure you have a list of shit you need to get done on that particular day or on that particular week, and that also helps you say to yourself, all right, actually I don't have time on Thursday to do this, and that. So try some of those out. Try them all out.
I'm going to program my day and press run, so we'll see. But other than that, I felt pretty good with my other goals.
Cool.
But next week, you know what you're doing?
I do. Next week, I'm going to keep a time budget, and hopefully that reflects into my actual budget, and we'll go from there.
Beautiful.
All right.
On that note.
Yo, I'm putting this out there. One day, we're going to have Y'all Boys Talking merch, and on the front is going to say on that note. Putting it out there.
Yeah,
starting the fucking movement of notes, man.
Okay.
It's one step at a time.
Yeah.
All right. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Wow. It's such a beautiful day outside.
It really is. Open the window while we play this video game.
Hey, kids! Wanna know what's better than a video game?
Oh my god, who the fuck are you?
I'm Outdoor Guy!
Why do you smell so bad?
Did you kids say you were gonna play a video game?
Yeah, it's this free-to-play game where you and 99 other people...
That's it? Outside, there are over 7 billion players and counting!
What?
And outside, you have the ultimate sensory experience, where you literally use every part of your body to succeed!
Going outside is not responsible for depression, anxiety, or any existential dread. Prolonged exposure outside may lead to hypothermia, heat stroke, and drowning.
Oh, welcome back to Y'all Boys Talking. For our final segment, we have our Rose, Bud, Thorn. Cue song.
Oh, I got my rose, I got my bud, I got my thorn. Here is the rose and the thorn and the bud of the week. I got my rose and my thorn and my bud.
Whoever wrote that song slaps.
I don't think the person,
Yeah, the writer slaps.
I don't think the
Okay.
writer slaps.
Thanks for letting us know.
Well, I'm the writer, so I slap.
I don't know. I'm not sure about that.
So our rose, our thorn, and our bud is an opportunity for us to give gratitude to our week. The rose is something that happened this week that you were really grateful for. Your bud is something that's happening next week that you're looking forward to.
Yeah.
And your thorn, no, we're going to keep it. And your thorn is something that happened this week that was a bit of a in your side or a in your side.
Who is that?
So,
Are they
why
okay?
don't you start us off, Steve?
All right. So my this week was cooking. In my lack of doing it, it seems that anytime I'm away from home from a long time, I have an inability to remember how to cook or remember what I like to cook. So I've been eating a lot of pre-made meals and stuff, not Uber Eats. I haven't gotten
positive
there yet.
Step up, yeah.
Yeah, but I miss cooking. I miss remembering how to cook, and I miss the feeling of knowing when I'm going to cook. So it's been a bit of it's been a thorn. My rose is that the medicine that I was taking from the crazy skin outbreak that I had, it's been working. My skin feels great. Yeah.
Yay.
And one of the side effects was supposed to be, I think, irritability. Because it's a steroid, and I thought it was just like a medical term, but when he was explaining, I was like, oh, he means like a steroid.
So that's why you've been yelling this whole podcast.
I'm yoked. Yes.
You're charged up.
But yeah, I didn't really feel that. So yeah, it's been good. It's just an antibiotic and some other stuff. So shout out to modern day medicine. And my bud is I used to work out a lot in last year. There was like this 2-month program we had at the company. It was just a lot of cardio. It was a lot of fun. High intensity interval training. That's what it was.
Right.
And yeah, we had after it ended, we had some motivated coworkers that would keep the program going. Instead, we do the insanity workout, and I did that a couple times with them, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. But this year, I haven't done it at all. I've been avoiding them, and almost every other day, like when David, the guy running the whole thing, he's just like, all right, Steve, today's the day. I was like, maybe tomorrow. And yeah, it wasn't until last week where one of the coworkers, Wolfgang, he's a cool guy, always like, yo, Steve, and he like gives me dap, or he's all around nice guy.
Cool dude.
He started working out with them, and when he saw that I was just sneaking away because they work out as it were the place where I exit, he started booing at me.
Oh,
he was like, boo,
boo,
yeah.
Steve,
and I thought it was really funny at first, but I was just like, oh man, I let him down. So for Wolfgang and everyone else working out, I'm going to be joining you guys tomorrow, and I'm not going to like it, but I'll like it later.
Hey,
Hell
rule
yeah.
of thumb, you never let down someone named Wolfgang. All right.
Yeah, for real.
Nah, bro.
For real.
He's got connections. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Don't let
Yeah,
Wolfgang
yeah,
down.
for real. Self-explanatory. What else you got?
I mean, that was my bud. So
No, I mean,
that's
like,
all
do you want
got.
to talk about anything else that makes you? All right, it's fine. All right, Max, what you got for us?
I got a rose, a thorn, and a bud. My thorn this week, really it's been my thorn for almost a month now, is that I haven't updated my calendar, which is my analog tracker. So I've just been riding dirty and not tracking.
Are you just existing, Max?
I'm just
How do you
existing.
know what to do?
I'm floating through this ether, just lost.
That's dangerous.
Yeah. So, and I guess I've been waiting till the end of the month to actually update my calendar, and that's what I'm gonna do today. So it's been weird because I've actually had 2 really good weeks since I've been back from my vacation without my analog tracker, but it's only been according to those goals that I've been doing well. My other shit has been just falling off. My workout just non-existent. So there's a lot of other habits I have that have been falling off. Yeah, my meal prep also has not been going that great either. So I have to get my analog tracker back to get back on that horse. My rose is, I've also realized, guys, we have not been calling other people out in our Rosebud Thorn, which is something I like to do more. So I'm using mine to call some people out for nice things they've done to me. My rose is that Steve finished a puzzle that I have had on a table since January, perhaps.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
I was there when the puzzle was started. Yeah. So January.
So we now have the table back, and that's because Steve finished a puzzle. I bought a frame. I framed the puzzle, and now it's going to get hung. So thank you for that.
Thank my hunger, because I just wanted to eat at that table again.
My bud is also involved hanging a portrait. The portrait that you guys got for me is up in my home. It is like 10, 12 feet off the ground. It looks like I'm the most important person that has ever walked into the apartment building. And
completely true.
That's not how I see myself, but it does feel nice having that all the way up,
also
hanging on the wall.
It's right near the entrance, so you walk to the entrance, and then the first thing you see is a giant portrait of Max.
Yeah, there's a hallway. You have to go down the hallway, and you look, and then there's a warlock granting a mystical spell. It kind of looks like Max.
And you're floating in the nether realm.
Yeah, just pointing towards other furniture in the room.
But you're smiling.
I'm having a great time. I look like a fun-loving guy. Yeah, so that's my Thorn Rosebud.
Okay. Frank Hernandez. Hi.
Yo. All right. So I got a thorn, rose, and a bud. My rose is all my side projects, all my work that's outside of my main job. I've been killing it. So I missed my meditation last Monday, but I got more work done that day than I had in ages. Like consistently, like in a row, just like sitting down and doing it. Been amazing.
But nice. At what cost?
But at what cost?
Sounds like you should stop meditating.
No, I'm not putting meditation, because the thing is, I meditated all the other days and I still got just the same amount of work done, if not more. But like finally, like being able to like sit down and really do it, because I had a panic attack somewhere earlier in the week, and we're all talking about how great journaling is, and I went back to my old digital journal. I wrote down literally every single thing that I distracted myself with. And it was a long list. Every time I would get distracted, I wrote it down. When I looked back at it, I'm like, none of this is important. So it cleared all that shit out by putting it onto digital paper. And now all my work is coming to me very easily. And I'm super, super stoked to doing that. So that is 100%.
Awesome. Okay.
100% my rose last week. My thorn is that it's... At the time of this recording, it's been 3 days since the Avengers came out to theaters, and I haven't seen it yet.
Uh-oh.
My bud is the reason why. So I'm heading to Miami, and I'm going to be seeing it with Carlin and Kevin. Carlin will be moving to London. My best friend Carlin will be moving to London on Thursday, and we're all just going to have one really big hangout before he leaves. So in order to preserve this moment, I decided to not see the film, and to basically document myself not doing everything I can possibly to not see the movie, even though movies are my life. I work in movies, and trying to avoid it at any cost. So
your life is a movie.
I'm sure it's great, and maybe we'll talk about it next week. Who knows? But to see Carlin, to see Kevin, to see Josh. To see my mentor Sean, to see my godfather Yuri, just all these people that I haven't seen in Miami since 2016. So it's been like 2.5 years since I've gone, and to be able to step back down in a place where I have a lot of good memories, I'm excited.
Your old stomping grounds.
The old stomping grounds. So yeah, those are my threes.
Okay,
Josh.
All right. Josh, what you got? All right. My thorn this week was last week. I talked about how great of a date I had.
Yeah.
And I was politely turned down. And she let me know that, you know, she did not want to pursue anything romantic, which is fine. I completely respect that. But, you know, it was a little bit of a in my side because I had such high hopes.
I mean, it would have been
Which
great.
has inspired me to delete all of my dating apps.
Whoa, wait,
Yeah.
whoa, this is news.
Going full analog.
Yeah. Just gonna take a break.
Are you gonna date analog, or are you just gonna meet people in person?
You know,
or you
I'm gonna exist. I'm gonna exist.
Oh, like
and
Max
whatever
in the
comes
Portrait.
my way. will come my way.
Josh, sounds like you're swimming.
Yeah, I'm swimming.
You're swimming. Just swimming.
I'm keeping one right now just because it's so good.
Oh, okay. You said all.
Yeah,
that's not all.
I think I'm gonna delete it. Like, I think I'm gonna delete it.
You know, Hinge is an app made to be deleted.
Exactly, and that's the last one. That's the last one that I have.
Congratulations.
Thank you. For my rose was that a couple weeks ago I taught a theater workshop at a juvenile prison, and the boys sent me a letter. This week. A card basically saying thank you so much, and one of the guys said this is the best thing that has happened to me since I've been here. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Which was really nice. And you know, it was really, really heartwarming. That really filled my soul, and I'm gonna continue to find opportunities to do things like that. And my bud is that I'm going to start taking Tai Chi, as I mentioned before, and I'm really excited about that because a nigga needs to breathe. On that note, that's the end of our show.
Wait. For Tai Chi.
What? I just want to hold on. Nigga needs to breathe.
Yeah.
That's also going to be a shirt when we have merch. Yeah. Anyway.
No.
That's probably not it. But I'm glad you're taking Tai Chi because like that's also very meditative.
Yes.
At the same time. That'd be great.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is the show. Thank you for staying tuned. As usual, we know we appreciate you giving us your time, your ears, and your attention span. Much love and much obliged. We hope that you have an amazing, productive week. Shout out to everyone. Bye.
We got a couple shout outs that we want to give. Shout out to Gino Music for making the theme song. The song is called Won't Stop. Eddie and Lewis for making the interstitial music and giving us the good vibes. Follow along with our challenges at y'allboystalkin.com. Subscribe to us via iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, and SoundCloud. Also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Y'all Boys Talkin'. New episodes every week.